Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I will be presenting a live demo on how to secure your AWS RDS instance if it is currently publicly accessible. I'll show you how you can disable the public access as well as the best practices. Not only this will improve your security posture of RDS instance, but it will also help you to save costs associated with public IP usage. So let's get started. For this demo, I've already provisioned an RDS instance. As you can see, I already have an RDS instance up and running with public access set to yes, which means this database is currently accessible over the internet. Let me show you how I can connect to this RDS instance from my local machine. Before that, I'll show you the security group. So in this security group, I've added my IP address as a inbound rule. So this is my IP address and this is the port range or the port on which the database is hosted. Now let me switch to terminal and execute command psql-h, then this is my RDS instance URL. The port number is 5432 and the username is Postgres. Let me hit enter and now enter the password. Now as you can see, I'm already into Postgres instance. Now I can execute any command from this database, which proves that the RDS instance is exposed publicly and user can connect if their IP address is whitelisted. Now let's take a quick look at existing architecture. Let me switch to presentation. Here is the current setup where RDS is hosted with public access enabled. As we have seen, user can able to access the RDS instance which is hosted here over the internet. Also you can see in the diagram I've created EC2 instance which is again deployed into same subnet and VPC. I'll talk about this EC2 instance later in this video. Let's talk about why this setup is not ideal. Number one reason is the security risk. From a security best practice standpoint, your RDS instance should not be publicly accessible. It should only be reachable within the VPC, ideal through Bastion or Jump host. I'll talk about this implementation later in this video. The second reason is cost impact. Let me switch to new slide. Starting in 2024, AWS charges $0.005 per hour for each public IPv4 address, which comes out to around $3.6 per month per IP addresses. If you have multiple such instances, this cost can add up quickly to your AWS bill. If you want to go through the entire documentation, I have attached link into the description. So now we know that keeping the RDS publicly accessible leads to security vulnerabilities and it also adds the unnecessary cost. Let's now explore how to disable the public access without losing the connectivity to the RDS instance. So let me switch to AWS Management Console again. So this is my RDS instance. This is my RDS instance. You need to click on modify. Scroll down and you can see under the connectivity section, unfold the additional configuration, and here you can see the configuration to disable public access. So I'll select not publicly accessible. Here you can see we have a message. When a DB instance is not publicly accessible, EC2 instance and device outside VPC can't connect unless they use the AWS site-to-site VPN or AWS Direct Connect. So don't worry about these services. I'll show you how you can connect to RDS instance even if it is not publicly accessible. So I'll go ahead and continue. I'll apply these changes immediately. If you have the production instance, you can schedule this as a maintenance activity. Let me modify. Meanwhile, let me explain the updated setup where the RDS instance is now publicly access disabled, so it is no longer reachable directly from the internet. We can quickly validate this. Let me switch to terminal again, exit from this session, clear window, and execute the same command. So if you remember, previously it was very quick, but now this will time out after few seconds. So I'll close this connection. Now we know that the instance is not accessible over the internet. While this resolve our problem, it also blocked the direct access from user's machine. But remember, even though the RDS instance is not publicly accessible, it is still reachable within the VPC. To allow that, we need to update RDS security group to whitelist either private IP address of EC2 instance or the CIDR range of VPC. So let's add the VPC CIDR here. So this is RDS instance. Let me open security group. So this is my VPC CIDR. In your case, it might be different. Inbound rule. Even though my public IP address is whitelisted, I'm not able to access over the internet. So let's add a rule to access this within VPC. Review, change, confirm. Now you remember, in our setup we have a EC2 instance which is hosted in the same subnet and same VPC. Let me go to EC2 instance. So this is my EC2 instance. Now let's use AWS Session Manager to log in into EC2 instance. Alright, I'm inside the EC2 instance now, and let's try to execute psql command. Okay, it looks like psql command or the Postgres client is not installed on this instance. Let me install it quickly. Alright, so this is still not accessible. You must install at least one Postgres client. So let me do that. Alright, it looks like now this is working. So let me just copy my command from my local host. So guys, currently I'm inside EC2 instance, so this is not my local machine. So let me just clear my screen, and if I execute the same command, it will quickly ask me for a password. Let me enter the password. Now you can see I'm able to connect to a database from EC2 instance. As you can see, we have successfully able to connect to RDS instance. Now what next? While this setup is secure, but it is not very convenient, you'll need to log in into EC2 instance every time you want to access the database. Now what next? In my next video, I'll show you how to use SSH tunneling from your local machine to securely connect to private RDS instance without logging into EC2 instance each time. So stay tuned for that. With that note, I'll wrap up my today's video. I hope you found this demo useful and easy to follow. If you like the content, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel for more tutorials and hands-on demos. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.